Hello and welcome to the Talk NBA Sports Broadcast with your hosts, Keeb and Andy. Today we're talking about Damian Lillard. But before we get into it, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Our Instagram and Twitter is in the link down below for more NBA content. Andy, how are we doing?
Well, there have been news that, Damian Lillard wants out. There was backlash on the coach situation. The Trailblazers trying to find a new head coach. And now all signs points to Dame wanting out, although nothing has been confirmed yet. But we're just playing the waiting game now to see if Dame is going to request a trade or if he's going to stick around for who knows how long. Because he still has 4 years on his current deal. And he's 30, so that would put him at 34. His mentality is a win now. If it was up to me, I would leave. If I was Dame, I would leave.
Let's give everybody a refresher. Dame is a special player. He holds the best playoff performance with 97% true shooting on 50 points and 17 points in overtime alone. If he requests a trade out, there's going to be 29 teams to trade for him. He's under contract for 4 years and he has no leverage. The leverage falls under the Blazers and whatever the Blazers want to do.
The reason why I say the ball is in his court is he's earned that status as franchise player. The Blazers, their relationship with Damian Lillard right now is a bit sour. At least from the perspective of Dame, he's given everything to the Blazers organization. From day one, since he was drafted there, he's given everything to that organization. If he wants to leave and I'm the Blazers and he requests a trade, I give it to him. Even if he hasn't won a chip, he's still taking the Blazers, I believe, to one conference finals, if I'm not mistaken. And that was against the Warriors. And you're not going to keep someone hostage and keep them there if you know that you have no chance of winning. Obviously, every team wants to, has that mentality that, all right, we're going to build so we have a chance to win. But if we're being honest, do the Blazers really have a chance in the West against a Warriors team that's going to come back hopefully healthy, against a Lakers team who's going to be rested, against a Suns team who right now is in the conference finals against the Clippers, against the Jazz team who by next year will probably make it to the Western Conference Finals, or at least that should be their goal. The point I'm trying to make is there's a lot of competition in the West that the Blazers have to think, can we really compete against those teams?
I think that's one of the main reasons why Dame would request a trade. I mean, let's all be honest here. This has been in the works for a very long time. The only reason Dame has ever said that he really wants to stay in Portland was because of the fans, and it turns out that the fans are the ones that are turning on him now. Blazers are in a weird spot. Their whole dynamic of that team really doesn't work. It hasn't really worked out for them.
Compare it to the Wizards situation. I would compare Dame with Bradley Beal. Not in terms of the way that they play, but in terms of their situation. Beal has also come out and said that he wants to stay loyal to the Wizards and that he wants to win a chip there. But are the Wizards really going to compete in the East? Maybe they win more. Who knows? We have to wait and see. But you have the big three in Brooklyn, KD, James Harden, Kyrie. Then you have somewhat of another big three in Milwaukee, Giannis, Chris Middleton, and Drew Holiday. You really can't count the Sixers. This year, I think, was the year that they should have made it to the conference finals, but they didn't. And you have the Hawks, too. I can't forget about the Hawks. I mean, the Hawks have proven all of us wrong by making it this far and letting the world know, don't count us out.
Now, if I'm the Blazers, I want to get the most assets back. Let's talk about some trade locations. If Dame is on the trade block, every single team will send some sort of package or offer for Dame.
If they get rid of Dame, they're going to get rid of CJ as well. And they're going to start a rebuild. I can see to the Sixers.
I agree.
I think that one is the one that makes more sense than maybe other trades. I can also see them trading to the Celtics.
We're going to try to make the Knicks happen. Here's what I project. I think the starting point is 4 first-round picks. I try to look at the AD trade, right? They got young players, 4 first-round picks, a pick swap, young core, and AD was on a expiring contract. Dame is not. And if I'm the Blazers, the person trading for you better give me compensation for 4 years plus. And that's why I said 4 first-round picks is the starting point. And I have the 2021, 2023, 2025, and 2028 first-round picks from the Knicks, while also giving 2021 to 2023. That means 2021, 2022, 2023 second-round picks. Julius Randle, because of contract. You want big contracts to fill it. You're going to sign and trade Frank Ntilikina via sign and trade. Obviously, he gets a 3-year, $63.2 million deal, with his first year being $18.5 million. And the Knicks receive Damian Lillard and the 2022 second-round pick.
I don't think it's a bad trade, especially since you're getting 4 first-round picks or more, depending on what the Blazers want.
The reason I chose the Knicks was because you have enough cap to sign maybe a Kawhi Leonard who opts out. I think the Knicks have the greatest upside out of all the teams we will name, in my opinion, because they have enough cap to sign a free agent. Sign a free agent such as Kawhi Leonard. If he opts out, they can use a couple of their exceptions, their biannuals, to sign him. I did a complete breakdown of the Knicks, and I'm going to put that on the screen. Damian Lillard makes $39.3 million this coming year. RJ Barrett was making 8.6. Kevin Knox, 5.8. Obi Toppin, 5.1. You have a couple of players, Emmanuel Quickley, who's making 2.2, Mitchell Robinson, who's making 1.1, and you have non-guaranteed contracts. And if Damian Lillard on the Knicks, they have a total cap space of $32.6 million. Obviously, Kawhi is going to get more, but they can include their exceptions to sign a player and go over the soft cap. I think that roster is very well suited to take over in the Eastern Conference. They're not the most realistic, but I think they have the most upside.
I think so too. I mean, out of the teams that are in the East, because let's be honest, I think that is the only place where trade Dame if I'm the Blazers. I think the Knicks have the better chance out of the other teams in the East. Obviously, the Sixers and the Celtics, they have a chance as well. Maybe the Heat, but I don't see any other team. Okay, so Sixers. I think that the only way that the Sixers get Dame is if you swap superstars. And by that, I mean trading away Ben Simmons for Damian Lillard. I think they would have to throw in someone like a Matisse Thybulle or Tyrese Maxey, one of those players to get the Sixers to say yes.
The mock I did with the 76ers, you get Ben Simmons, you get Seth Curry, who's on a 2-year expiring contract. I would like to see the tandem of Embiid and Lillard. If you compare a point guard with a good or a decent center, I think you have money. And Ben Simmons being traded, obviously his contract, and Seth Curry because he was lighting it up. He plays one of the most valuable positions in the NBA, and that's a 3-and-D. Everybody wants three-point shooters, and everybody likes defenders. So, and four first round picks. Obviously, you can throw out anything. I threw the 2021, 2023, 2026, and 2028, and however many seconds you want to throw in.
I have the Blazers getting Ben Simmons, Matisse Thybulle, 2021 first rounder, 2024, 2026, 2028 first rounders, all of them, and a 2023 second rounder.
You just throw in as many second rounds or as many first rounds as you need.
Right, I would throw in 4 first rounders and a second rounder just to sweeten the pot.
I agree. The Celtics would be a good destination. Their first-time All-Star, Jaylen Brown, who's making around $26 million. They can throw in Marcus Smart, pot full of first-rounders, a pot full of second-rounders. And Celtics make sense because you have Tatum, who can play as a guard. You can play him as a forward. Dame playing the point guard. They just recently acquired Al Horford. I think they can make a giant leap and finally break through.
And let's just agree. Let's just leave it out there. Tatum is untouchable.
Absolutely. I agree. You're not getting Jason Tatum, but Jaylen Brown was killing it this year. And I think you can throw him in, and I think that would be great for the Blazers.
If I'm the Celtics, I'm giving up Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, 2022, 2024, 2026, and 2028 first round. And I get back Damian Lillard.
Yeah, you could throw as many picks as you want. We don't even know what the plan is. They might just trade away everybody and accumulate draft picks.
I think that would be their best bet because you have a bunch of players that are on the older side. You have Robert Covington, who's 30, Powell, who's 28, almost 29, Enes Kanter, who's 29, almost 30. You have a bunch of younger players. If they want to do a rebuild, I say re-sign Zach and then trade away CJ for picks or younger players and just do a rebuild, just like OKC.
And this team that I have is the Wizards. Anybody on that team can be traded. I can throw out Russell Westbrook or Bradley Beal. And I chose Russell Westbrook. Can't shoot threes. You barely get minutes on the floor. And Russell Westbrook cannot shoot. I have them giving up the 2024 to 2027 second round picks, 2021 and 2024 first round picks. You could throw out as many picks as you want. and the Wizards get Dame and a 2022 second round pick. Whether he wants to go there is another question in itself. I wouldn't want to go to the Wizards. I don't think they're a winning franchise. But, Dame decided to stay in Portland rather than go to a winning franchise, so we never know what he really wants to do. You can include contenders, but the Brooklyn Nets are in cap hell. The Golden State Warriors are in cap hell. The Lakers are in cap hell. And I don't realistically see any of them trading for Dame. And if I'm Portland, I'm definitely not keeping Dame in the West. As soon as you lose Dame, you lose your entire reason for creating that roster. We look at their roster, it's just a bunch of aging players. They built that roster to make a deep run. And you're losing Carmelo if Dame is gone. If I'm Carmelo, why would I want to stay there? So right. I blow up the entire thing.
If I'm the Blazers and I'm going to give up CJ, there's only like a bevy of teams that I would give him up to.
Portland and Dallas would be, you give up Kristoff, Maxi Kleber, you give up 2022 first and second, 2024 and 2026 second round pick. Luka plays that small forward position. He can play a guard, and you could definitely move him to guard. And I think that team would be really good. And I think Damian Lillard would want to go there. But then again, the only reason I was hesitant to bring up any Western Conference team is because if I'm the Blazers, I don't want him in the West. For 4 years, I don't want that.
I disagree with Lillard going to the Mavs. I don't think that's a good fit. The reason is because Luka is ball dominant. So is Dame. Luka Doncic is the first scoring option, right, to the Mavericks. If you're looking to give the ball to someone to score, is Luka Doncic on the Mavericks.
Luka, I think, is definitely capable of sacrifice. If you're getting someone like Dame, who can shoot the rock and can play somewhat off ball, I think that would be a great fit. And I understand what you're saying. It's they're both ball dominant, but I think for the Mavs and I think for Dame, if you're talking about contenders who are able to trade for him, the Mavs could be one of them.
Right. I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. But I think realistically, it's only the East teams that are going to matter in this case. If, and that's a big if, Dame wants out.
All of this is just rumors. We haven't heard anything besides one report that he's frustrated and the fans are frustrated with him. And it all harps back on his coaching decision, the Chauncey Billups hire, and that he recommended Jason Kidd. They've both have had their off-the-court controversies, but, this one I couldn't understand. I mean, you're alienating your superstar, and you're only giving him a reason to leave. But if he decides to leave, I think these would be the teams.
I think these are the only teams that have that base and the assets, because not everyone has the assets to pull off a big trade like this.
Every single one of these teams will send some sort of offer for Damian Lillard. Well, that's it for this episode. Let us know what you think, what your mock trades would be. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. This was the very first episode of Talk NBA Sports Podcast, but there's many more to come. I hope you enjoyed. Stay safe.
See you guys next time.